Hi, this is Kris Cumnock for VYPE TV and back with High School Playoff Edition Week 2 here with David McNabb. David, we got Week 1 out of the way. You and I talked a little bit last week about get these Week 1 games out of the way, and I don't think any of these games surprised either one of us this week.
Well, there wasn't really a surprise. Jesuit beating Plano West,
A little bit.
I think, is an impactful game, important for the Jesuit program. To look at the two teams, they were pretty similar as a toss-up game.
Right.
But that was I think that'll be an impactful game over time. The Jesuit will kind of have gotten over a big hurdle.
Sure. Well, let's talk 5A Division I. Capel DeSoto, round 2. They played at Eagle Stadium last year. DeSoto won handily. This year they'll play at Cowboy Stadium, or AT&T Stadium as it is. Give me your thoughts on that game.
Well, I think DeSoto will win. It's the reasons Capel will win or would win is if somehow they can really eat up the clock, create a couple fumbles, get some punts out of DeSoto. Capel's got a terrific return game, a good defense with Solomon Thomas, not a great defense. Their linebackers are good but not great. They're really going to have trouble covering Chris Lacey at a receiver. They're not going to match up well for that, so they're going to have to kind of play that too deep zone to keep things in front of them.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. I think they're going to have to run the football because their best two areas to me are the offensive line and the running back depth. I think what DeSoto wants to do is make Skylar Bono throw the football, and when that happens, I think DeSoto is going to be able to push it out a little bit. Southlake Carroll takes on Midland Lee. I don't think, and I've said this before, I don't think this is a great Southlake Carroll team, but I think they're at least good enough to go another round. They're pretty balanced. They can run the football. They obviously throw it very well. I think Midland Lee's a pretty good team, but I don't see them beating Southlake. Well,
I did Southlake this last week. They looked very good against Arlington Bowie. They ran the ball 53 times, mainly because Bowie's defense was just really bad. I saw Bowie's Arlington Martin game, and Martin did the exact same thing. Now, they've got a really good sophomore running back at Martin. A.J. Ezzard looked really good. Southlake Carroll actually has a really good sophomore, Little Jordan Humphrey. He's 6'2", 180. He's going to be a nice runner. They beat Midland Lee pretty easily, but the Southlake Carroll logic of, oh, well, we'd love another chance at Allen. Well, that works for Midland Lee, too.
Sure.
That was early in the season for them. The West Texas teams are good, but they're just nothing like they were in the past.
No, I totally agree. Euless Trinity, Mansfield Timberview. I worry about teams that can't throw it. Timberview can't throw it. 2 games on Timberview's schedule, if you look at quality teams that they play, DeSoto and Cedar Hill both ran the ball really well. I think Cedar Hill averaged almost 8 yards a carry. DeSoto averages over 8 yards a carry, and that's what Trinity's going to do. They run it 43 times a game. I see Trinity coming out, and I don't see this being much of a football game because I don't think Timberview can stop Trinity, and I don't think they can score when they do get the ball.
I see it very similar, although Timberview's got a little magic over there. You know, they went they were in a state semifinal a couple years ago, right, when they lost to Trey Williams, who's now a running back at Texas A&M. That game was in Waco. Trinity, though, while their passing hasn't really come along, it's the old style of running. The defensive backs have to come up to stop that, power sweep. They run like 3 plays: toss, sweep, wham, and the play action pass.
Right.
And that's about all they do. And with that play action pass, the tight end can be so wide open that it really doesn't matter that the quarterback's not that good.
Correct.
So I think Trinity is a very difficult matchup for Timberview.
I do too. Now, Saxe and Skyline, I think if you're going to beat Skyline, whether it's Saxe, and I don't think they do, but if you're going to beat Skyline, if you look at 50% of their completions have gone for 25 yards or more. So the logic is we've got to make Skyline methodically move down the field. We can't give up those big plays. And I don't think Saxe's defense is the one to do that. I think Skyline will face some teams as they get a little deeper into the playoffs that can do that defensively. I love Saxe's offense. I love Kent Myers. I love Obzigbo, the running back. But I don't think they beat Skyline.
I don't think they beat Skyline. I like your Moneyball analytics. I'm going to give you some money to invest. You're looking at numbers. I don't ever look at numbers. I think Skyline's, actually, I'm going to go with the upset this year. Saxe is really good.
I agree.
And this is one of the few times that Saxe's going to have some speed. I really like Skyline. They're not quite as good. They don't kind of have that defensive presence. In fact, I think one of the keys to Oklahoma's whole season was when Corey Nelson went down, because he was the man on defense. He did not like to give up a yard, and they've missed him at Skyline. They haven't had quite the guy. Anthony Wheeler's a good running back. I think there's a couple of twins at Saxe. DuVernay, one is a cornerback, one's a receiver. To go with the running back, and Kent Myers can run just enough that I think it's going to cause a problem for Skyline this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I see this being a 21-point game because I just don't trust Saxe's defense. Mesquite can score, but again, I don't trust. I don't like what Saxe did last week against Mesquite. I just don't trust their defense.
Their defense is going to be the problem. If they get into a scoring match with Skyline can score in bunches, and they're used to that. So there could be something to that, but I'm still going to go with an upset pick.
All right, so we'll discuss that one next week. Now, division.